And it's the Saints with Wellens at fullback, Gardner, Gidley, Tallow, Melly, Price and Long. No surprises there. The forwards, Kalis, Cunningham the skipper, Graham, Flannery, Wilkin, and the return of Paul Sculthorpe in the forwards. And on the bench, Roby, Hargreaves, Clough and Farsavalu for the coach Daniel Anderson. Now Rovers, Briscoe at fullback, then they go Fox, Webster, Fitzhenry and Steele, Cook and Dobson. Forwards, Crossman, Fisher, Vella the skipper, Newton, Jean and Chev Walker. And the bench occupied by Mills, Cockayne, Netherton and Chester. The coach is Justin Morgan. And Rovers making their first visit to Knowsley Road in 15 months. They have lost on each of their last 11 visits. Their last victory here, February 1985, in a Challenge Cup tie. Gary Clark's try sealed an 8-3 win and ended Mal Meninga's dreams of playing at Wembley. Incredibly, they've won just 2 of 38 post-war visits to this ground. Their only win coming on April the 4th, 1982. Phil Hogan 2 tries in a 28-16 victory. They're keen though tonight. They're out first here at Knowsley Road to face the St Helens, and they're meeting for the second time in 6 days. And this top 6 encounter is every bit as important as last week's Challenge Cup quarter-finals. They've topped 30 points at the Saints against Hull KR in 9 of their 11 straight wins at home, and they won 29-0 on one of the other 2 occasions. Saints fans in fine fettle because they extended the winning run in the Challenge Cup to 3 years with their 24-18 victory at Craven Park. Rovers did have a couple of tries disallowed, and the victory came a couple of years after St Helens beat Hull KR. They were then in the National League in a cup semi-final at Huddersfield. The result that day, 50 points to 0. Phil Bentham's the man in charge on this sunny evening in St Helens. And the fact that it was 50-0 2 years ago against Justin Morgan's Hull Kingston Rovers, last week it was a 6-point margin, Steve-O, indicates the remarkable turnaround in fortunes that Justin Morgan has engineered up there in East Hull.
Certainly has. He's recruited well, and none more so than the Michael Dobson return to this country. The fascinating contest between Dobson and Sean Long will be interesting indeed, as will Jake Webster against the big frame of Willie Tallow in the centres.
Saints then with first use of the football, and it's James Graham who is met by a big tackle by Chev Walker and Michael Vella. Here now is Jason Kalis, the New Zealand international prop forward. Missed the first 8 of this year, but back for 10, rather 9 of the last 10. And Crossman all over the top of Chris Flannery, just trying to slow the Saints' game plan down at the play of the ball. That was Vella on top of the grounded Saints man in the tackle. 2 more, managed to pull Kalis down on the last. They're just over halfway. It's with Long and now it's with Price, and up goes the kick, and the sun is shining straight down the face of Sean Briscoe, but it doesn't matter to him.
Easy beat for Briscoe there, stood his ground. A little bit too long there from Sean Long, got the height but not high enough to make sure that the onrushers could get anywhere near him. Just took it so completely indeed. He's solid as a rock, is Briscoe.
St Helens perhaps a little lucky to win in the Challenge Cup last week. One of the areas that they will want to improve is their kicking game. Hull Kingston Rovers, through Dobson and Cook, were far the better, both tactically, accurately, and in putting pressure on their opponents. As the first penalty here now for offside goes against St Helens.
It's a shame for Saints that, because it was a wonderful tackle by John Wilkin. He stopped the Rovers runner dead in his tracks, but Phil Bentham catching them all offside on the left-hand side. Good deep kick from the penalty, and here's Hull Kingston Rovers' first real opportunity of the night. Ben Fisher is the man at dummy half, and here is Michael Vella, their captain. 3 metres short of the line. Vella gets to his feet. Fisher again. Shows it to Walker, gives it to Walker, and Graham is there to halt the progress of the man playing it loose forward tonight for Hull Kingston Rovers. Right underneath the sticks, Rovers, with Fisher on the half volley to Dobson. He finds Briscoe. St Helens muscling up in defence as they have done so often over the past 3 years under Daniel Anderson. Here now is Dobson, gives it a bit of width and finds Cook. Cook then, great ball that was to Clint Newton, and Newton off and wide, but sadly for Rovers a knock on by young Peter Fox.
Opportunity was there. He got halfway across, got a fingertip to it, but Fox just got the second. It was going backwards. Good decision there by Phil Bentham. Golden opportunity though. Interesting to see how Justin Morgan as OKR has got Paul Cook standing way out, Michael Dobson taking the first receiver. That means they're getting 20-30 yards in just 2 passes.
Justin Morgan, family affair with Daniel Anderson. Justin Morgan and Daniel Anderson, brothers-in-law and brothers-in-arms tonight on opposite side of the fence as Kalis drives it forward for St Helens. And this delaying tactics have been spotted by referee Phil Bentham as the penalty to level the count up.
Well, it's wonderful conditions for fast open rugby league football, and that's the reason why the official is saying, come on fellas, get back, no interfering out to play the ball either. There's so much talent out there, and the fans want to see the real skills we know that they're capable of.
Graham will play the ball to Cunningham. He showed it to Kalis, he gives it to Long, Long gives it width to Price, then they find John Wilkin. Wilkin, former Hull Kingston Rovers player of course, right at the start of his career, and the victim of a high challenge.
He felt that as well, did Wilkin, went straight into it. Newton did not miss. Clint Newton, the big second rower, he has a problem with that. He has a problem to try to keep the forearm down.
Kalis will drive it forward again for St Helens. Good to see Paul Sculthorpe back in the team tonight. He missed you the last 5, only 4 appearances of the year prior to tonight. And there he is, hitting the ball at pace. That's what he loves to do, and it's now with Long. Here is Price, he finds Flannery, and Flannery drops it, and it's picked up.
Well, good opportunity.
Officer Jake Webster rather.
Good opportunity just thrown away by both sides. Just a minute before, it's Hull Kingston. They had the opportunity. You can see there Flannery trying to offload in impossible situations. And Mr. Bentham's come with a whistle tonight.
I think the sign was markers not standing square at the play of the ball.
Little doubt about it.
Cunningham just took a step a little too early. Here is Stanley Jean. Stanley Jean, whose autobiography, Daydream Believer, will be in the shops in June the 27th, and he is a daydream believer, is Stanley.
Certainly is. I wonder if he's got his birth certificate in it.
I don't think so. Knock on by Chev Walker. St Helens gobble up the possession. He's probably as old as our guest tonight, John Keir. Stanley?
Yeah. They certainly still play some good rugby league, and it's been a fascinating opening because both teams have traded penalties, both teams have showed their mettle with their online defence, and I think both teams have missed a half chance as well, so cracking opening.
And it's St Helens night, isn't it? Sun shining, pitch dry. They like to play open and attacking rugby league, and that's what they're trying to do here with Cunningham. Helps it on to Wellens. Wellens shrugs off the attention to Paul Cook. An important tackle by Ben Fisher. Quick play the ball though. This is Flannery. Flannery wide to Gardner to pluck that out of the air. Brushes away from Steele. Gets the ball to Flannery. Thrilling stuff when they're in this mood, but can they keep it going?
Got to have some height with the sun.
Long a dink over the top, looking for Wilkin, running onto it. Picked up by Peter Fox, right on his own line. Collared by Leon Price. Daniel Anderson not happy with that last play.
Well, he's not happy with many. You mentioned the fact that the sun's right in the eyes of the Hull Kingston Rovers players. He needed height on that kick from Sean Long, not a little dink over the top.
Crossman bounces off Graham, gets as far as Cunningham. Fisher. And here is Michael Dobson. Gets the ball away to Stanley Jean. Long has missed him, but Matt Gidley didn't. Fisher again, in centre field to Cook. Newton, they go further towards the right-hand side with Fitzhenry. Fitzhenry gets it out to Fox on that far side, but Francis Melly was in no mood to let him get past him.
Great defence there. You could see there Willie Tallow says, you go out, do not move away from your position. Great combination between Tallow and Melly. Centre and winger, you've got to have that conversation going at all times.
Eddie, you've said that it's great conditions for St Helens, but of all the teams in Super League, Hull Kingston Rovers love to shift the ball to both the left and right wing. We've seen them early on in this game continue a tactic that they employed last week. Not quite successful enough to put them through to the semi-final of the Challenge Cup, but they'll continue to go to Hull Kingston Rovers right and attack Tallow and Melly.
Long waiting for the opportunity, and here he is, picks the ball up, first receiver, then finds Leon Price, Dummett to make the pass, found Wellens. Wellens gets it wide to Francis Melly. Melly back on the inside, gets the ball away, and Wellens drops it again. We've had 8 minutes and we've had plenty of mistakes, lots of thrills, but plenty of mistakes.
Just shows you the way that St Helens like to play. That was knocked out. That certainly was knocked out by Hull Kingston Rovers' hand. Quite clear as far as I'm concerned, one-on-one, but did it go backwards? He's not happy, Daniel Anderson.
There's a massive test for several teams this weekend in whether there is a Challenge Cup hangover. What effect has it had on your side progressing through to the semi-final? What effect has it had on your side being knocked out of the Challenge Cup? Both of these sides played one another amazingly last week, innit? We'll get to see what effect it's had. Do Hull KR have a hunger and a revenge determination here tonight?
Man who can answer one or two of those questions maybe is John Keir tonight, who has led his Wakefield Trinity Wildcats to the semi-finals, first time in 29 years. John, what effect does the placing in the semi-final have?
Well, I don't think it should have any effect whatsoever, because you've got 7 rounds of Super League. That's a quarter of the season between the quarter-final and semi-final. And if you do let it affect you, it could well spoil your Super League season. So I think it's business as usual and focus is on the immediate, and that's Super League.
That's what St Helens and Hull Kingston Rovers are doing here. Rovers, of course, in particular, because they have made it into the top 6. And they're trying to stay there. That's good defence from them.
But you can see 5 involved. If you can get a quick play of the ball, they're hanging around. Surprisingly, the ref has not pulled them up from that. I get the impression that Daniel Anderson has sent the word out, keep it away from the forwards, let's keep it moving out wide.
It's now Willie Tallow, little skip in front of his marker, and Fitzhenry does well to come back and bring him down. Long again, at the heart of everything so far. Wilkin can't get away though. Good scrambling defence from Hull Kingston Rovers there. Here now is Long, shaped to kick, gave it to Price instead. He dabs it towards the in goal. That is too strong, and the ball trickles dead. 20-metre restart for Hull Kingston Rovers.
Put under a lot of pressure there, Saints. They're a little bit on the panic button at the moment. There's one thing keeping the ball alive, but make sure of possession, make sure that when it comes to the last, you've got to get a good kick away. You've got to get to repeat 6 if possible.
First 10 gone, first injury news, Bill.
Yeah, Justin Morgan's rearranged lineup has already had to be arranged again because of the wrist injury to Chev Walker. He's already off the field. Walker playing at loose forward today, and Chris Chester has had to come on. And the word is that it is an ongoing problem for Chev Walker. He's back in the dressing room at the moment, having it seen to, and they're hoping that they can fix it up and get him back out there.
That was a wonderful, wonderful penalty that got such depth from Paul Cook, and it really did produce a chance then for Rovers, but I think it's Wilkin to the rescue for St Helens. Wonderful run forward by Clint Newton. He was stretching the arm out and underneath he came. Was it Wellens there as well? Yes, it was.
Just got underneath the arm, didn't get for the football. That's why it's been deemed as a knock-on, and it'll be a head and feed to Saints. That's the second occasion they've been put in. The penalty, it was kicked so deep that actually Saints were nearly caught out, because if Melly had been right back, he could have caught that on the full.
This is Gidley again. It's a penalty for offside against Hull Kingston Rovers now, much to the delight of the St Helens support, as you can probably hear in the background.
Much to the delight as well of one Mr. Flannery. Chris Flannery was trying to offload that ball, and Kieran Cunningham had knocked on just at the moment that the official was giving the penalty. We need to try, settle things down. 2 balls on the pitch.
So Gidley will restart. Gidley had a try disallowed at Craven Park in the Super League in February that would have won the match. St Helens believe that their pocket was picked there because although they haven't got a very good record on their travels against St Helens, in 2008 Hulkingston Rovers have beaten St Helens this year in Super League, very early in the campaign. Long meets firm resistance from Paul Cook.
Problems for Flannery. He looks as though he's got a bad leg. He's calling for assistance.
Price looking to jink his way through the line. Leon Price gets the ball away to Paul Wellens. And Wellens, trying to power his way to the line, is halted by Briscoe and by Chester. Cunningham is a couple of metres away from the line. Will he be tempted? No.
Oh,
Sculthorpe lost it.
It was dipping down at the last moment. And he's just saying to his colleagues, it wasn't the best pass. Just dipping down.
Just overran it.
Yeah.
What's that? Say it again.
Frustration written all over the face of Daniel Anderson.
Paul Sculthorpe thought he might have been back in action last week in the cup tie. He was a little frustrated that he wasn't named in the 17. But here he is, back in the Engage Super League tonight. More injury news, Bill.
Yeah, it's all happening down here. As Steve-O pointed out, Chris Flannery picked up a knock. It's the left knee that he immediately fell to his knees, in fact, and then got back up again and was rubbing his left knee, signalled to the sidelines, physio on very quickly, Flannery off very quickly.
So changes being enforced on both coaches. Chev Walker off for Rovers and Flannery off for Saints.
We'd have to say that both defences are pretty happy with themselves. It's been a real roughhouse affair out there. Some of these flat passes that either side are producing, they're hitting the wall very hard.
Dobson with the kick downfield is grabbed by Aidy Gardner. The leading try scorer in Super League, Gardner, 15 touchdowns this year, trying each of his last 8 appearances as he plays the ball to Cunningham. He finds Wellens, who in turn finds Melly.
What was so clever there about what Aidy Gardner is positioning for the kick? Most wingers stand on or close to the sideline. He came 10 or 15 metres infield, making it almost impossible for Dobson to land the ball on the floor. And now his team get a penalty. They earn the penalty, I suppose, through Melly's desire to get up and play the ball quickly. And look where they find themselves.
It's been evident from the very first minute, though, Phil, that Hulkingston Rovers have come here tonight with the intention of trying to slow St Helens play the ball down.
Well, it's something that all teams try to do when they travel here. They know how wonderful rugby league football they can produce, the Saints.
This is Wilkid again.
2 feet. 4 feet.
And Cunningham is waiting. He finds Paul Clough.
Clough Cunningham going to solo.
Well, he's very close again, isn't he? Just a metre away this time. Gives the ball instead to Long, who finds Price, who finds Gidley, who finds Gardner. 16th try of the season for Gardner. Top try scorer in Super League. In great form is Aidy Gardner. A try in each of his last 9 appearances now. A decisive try against Hulkingston Rovers last week. He missed Hull in Super League the week before, but he has come back, and there he is. 16 minutes, 16 tries, and Aidy Gardner gives St Helens the lead.
Good tactics by Saints. They pull the defence right into the corner, and then they have the overlap. What a wonderful season Gidley and Gardner are having. The combination is quite superb. Just had enough there to get on the outside. John Steele just been sucked in by the wonderful pair of hands by Matt Gidley. What a combination it has been. We've seen over the past 5 or 6 weeks the quick hands of Gidley. Nothing short of superb.
Well, now Sean Long, he's 29 metres away from the post, 7 degrees to aim at. That's the degree of difficulty. And Sean Long, his next try, by the way, will be his 150th for St Helens. A try and 4 goals last week, and his first goal of the night here. It's 6-0 to Saints.
It's all about making sure that your opposition is unbalanced. Look how you can see the winger John Steele is looking at Gidley, and by the time the pass is gone, he cannot get across. superb hands, a wonderful St Helens try yet again.
Very, very important, isn't he, Matt Gidley, to this St Helens team. They all thought that when Jamie Lyon went, who would they replace him with? I think he's been sensational. His line of run there was excellent. He took both Dobson and Steele out there with the line of run and then the skill with his quick hands. Superb centre play.
And good try for Eddie Gardner, 16 for the season, as I say. Remember in 2006 he played here in an international for Great Britain as Kalis gets another penalty.
Well, if this carries on, the official, Phil Bentham, surely has to call the captain.
I'm just going to make the point about, let's have a look at this again, as they lie all over him, try and halt him and slow them down. It's Chris Chester, the culprit then. Just going to make the point about Eddie Gardner. 2006 he played here in that international against New Zealand, and he was the only Great Britain international, other than James Graham, who didn't go for other reasons, who was not selected for the Tri-Nations in 2006. He has come back in 2008, bigger, better and stronger, and I fancy Tony Smith might be including him in his squad for England in the World Cup.
I think he's one of the first selected on the plane, if he can keep up this form throughout the rest of the season.
That tackle was not completed. Price was able to get up, and he gets the ball away, and they have another penalty, St Helens. And it's now mounting, I'm afraid, the count. Here's Clough on the drive, first tackle, and they were hanging back then, Hull Kingston Rovers. Good run from Clough. Justin Morgan, a bit frustrated, a bit worried maybe, because St Helens pressing, and looking dangerous. Wilkin, Gidley. Little Hoff skipping a jump before he reaches the defensive line. Plays the ball to Wellens, to Long, and Leon Price. Price straightens it up, looks to get the ball away out the back door, decided better of it, played it quickly to Cunningham. Here is Graham, this is Kalis, good tackle.
Oh, what a tackle there!
Great tackle by Stanley Jean. Cunningham again, here's Clough. Clough trying to wiggle his way to the line. 5 tackles gone. Sculthorpe, Gidley, oh, brilliant again. Fantastic flick out the back door from Gidley to Gardner. He did that last time we saw St Helens. A wonderful pass. And a repeat performance. That was up at the KC Stadium against Hull. This is at home against Hull Kingston Rovers. And Eddie Gardner, that's 17 tries now. And Gidley is the man who has created many of them.
Well, John Keir mentioned it. A lot of people here thought perhaps they could not get anybody as good as Jamie Lyon. Perhaps what they don't realise is that Matt Gidley was the man that Jamie Lyon took his pass from. His action, the ability to suck in the defender and then offload with one hand. This is the man that started it all. Jamie Lyon copied him. You're looking at the master, and boy, is it pretty to watch. That is sensational.
Certainly is, and Gardner is benefiting from having this man inside him, and it's remarkable. It's something maybe that Warrington fans thinking about the form of Matt King this year might remember. Matt Gidley didn't start off too crash hot when he came over here a couple of years ago when he filled in for Jamie Lyon. Boy, he's playing well now, and Long's kicking well, and St Helens are 12 up. Sean Long with a wonderful conversion to Eddie Gardner's try.
Copybook of the first try, you can see there they've both gone for him. John Steele perhaps had no option really, and he will be wondering how on earth did this fella receive that pass from Gidley.
It's very difficult to defend against St Helens, particularly when you're on your own line. I suppose the biggest problem with Rovers with the 2 penalties they conceded and the missed tackle from Paul Cook. But John Steele has a massive learning curve in the next 60 minutes or so, Eddie. It's Easter Monday, the last time he played on the wing in the first team. Here's a bad tackle perhaps from Clint Newton.
Well,
the referee's going to have a look at this.
Has not moved. The referee has already said it's a knock on.
Looks pretty bad.
Oh, that's a bad one. And then he's gone down with the elbow, with the forearm into the face. He hits him first and then finishes him off. Oh, that's shocking.
I think the forearm is worse than the first.
It doesn't matter. It's a double whammy, isn't it?
I don't think that's a bad tackle.
Not the first, I think.
The first, not, yes, the first is not a bad tackle, I agree with you.
Yeah, but it's high, Phil.
It's the second one tonight that he's had a little bit of a swinging arm. He was penalised before, and he hasn't been penalised for this, but...
It's a problem that he has.
They're not working on his head, by the way. They're working on his legs. Because I think there's an almighty tangle of bodies there. Look.
The first impact is definitely on the shoulder, then into the face. It is a nasty one. Impact onto the shoulder, but then it's still high.
But it's his leg that is causing the problem. Fisher was all around the legs. I think the referee's just put that on report. He has.
Well, he's every right to.
But if he's put it on report, does that mean he gives the penalty, or does he just carry on with the scrum?
Well, your guess is as good as mine.
Looks
because
like he's just carrying on with the scrum.
Yes, he doesn't have to penalise the move, puts it on report. The indication is he hasn't seen it clearly. And it's Jason Kalis' right knee that seems to be the biggest problem for him at the moment.
Well, it's a shame for Kalis because he has come back bigger and stronger and better than ever, and that was a real collision, and you can see the pain, and I mean, they don't stay down, rugby league players, and act like that unless there is a serious problem.
Johnny sorted it out.
Well, it didn't do it any good either with the fact that the forearm that went through.
Yeah, well, I think he's brushed that aside himself.
Yes, he
he's
has.
more concerned about his legs.
What was that, James?
Kalis is, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Mr. Newton might be wondering what will occur after this. He is on report, and rightly so from what we've seen.
Clint Newton.
His tackling style has always been awkward throughout this season.
He's just focusing on Jason Kalis. This would be a massive loss. You know, most people assume Leon Price, Sean Long, Kieran Cunningham are the key elements of St Helens, but I think James Graham and Jason Kalis are the first two players that the coach would want to be available for selection. Graham has been outstanding lately, and Kalis has probably taught him some of the tricks that he's picked up.
I think also, Phil, I think St Helens' form has obviously picked up as the season progresses when Jason Kalis has returned, but when they had Kalis miss it and Nick Fozzard, they really missed that go forward, and perhaps James Graham was being asked to do too much, and it's significant that the form was picked up as Kalis has returned, and it'll be a big miss if he's taken off tonight and can't return.
Well, when Fozzard and Kalis weren't there at the start of the season, you're right, St Helens were very inconsistent, weren't they?
Well, this man that we've just had in the screen,
5 out of 10.
James Graham, was having to do 80 minutes. He was taking virtually a pack on his own, and he didn't shy away from it. He has been so consistent this year.
In all of this talk, we are, of course, waiting for Jason Kalis to be taken from the field, and sadly he will leave the scene for the time being, and let's hope it only is for the time being, on a stretcher, and away he goes now to warm applause from the four sides of this ground. But this could be a major blow to St Helens, with the pursuit of Leeds at the top of the Super League table, and of course in the Challenge Cup as well, with them being paired against the Rhinos in the semi-finals in 7 weeks' time. The medical team will be giving Daniel Anderson the report, and it will be a critical report, believe me. At the end of it all, Hulkingston Rovers have head and feet at the scrum, and this is Daniel Fitzhenry. That's Peter Fox. Here is Dobson, he finds Garrett Crossman.
Important now, St Helens do not lose control. Don't give away silly penalties, try to square it up.
This is Chris Chester.
We should guarantee when Mr. Newton gets a football, they might get around him.
Now Michael Vella driving the ball in. Vella, he's extended his contract last week. He's at Rovers till 2011. Now it's Cook. Here's Grossman again. That's wonderful defence. Ball bounces in front of Paul Cook. It's play on. Chester, wide ball. Great tackle by Adi Gardner. Ball in touch. And I think this is going to be head and feet to St Helens.
Is this sort of service, Josh?
position by the winger there, and not surprisingly, he gets a tap on the back. You've got to make sure when you come over and you leave your winger out. He had the overlap there, no doubt about it. Peter Fox would have had an easy chance, Seals should I say, would have had an easy chance to have snuck into the corner.
Well, a fabulous 23 minutes has been enjoyed by Eddie Gardner. 2 tries and a very telling tackle.
Yeah, we speak about Eddie Gardner's try-scoring ability, which is obviously immense. But what's impressed me this season has been his improvement with his defensive decision-making and under the high ball. I think he really is maturing into an absolute quality wingman.
Offside here at the play the ball again against Hull Kingston Rovers. The 7th penalty that St Helens have received. And here is Hargreaves. What a turnaround in this. There's another penalty, you know. They've come here on a mission to slow St Helens down. It's Price and it's Sculthorpe. And he gets them to within 12 metres of the Rovers' lines. Well, they're doing their job, Rovers. They are slowing St Helens down in the tackle and to play the ball.
Good tackle as well by Clint Newton there.
Sculthorpe, back he comes to Gidley. He'll take one himself this time. It's the Gidley Gardner show, double G for St Helens. Outstanding play. Justin Morgan will be concerned about the increasing penalty count. He will now be concerned about the increasing scoreboard clicking away against his team, because Matt Gidley, he has come up with only his 3rd try of this year, but he got 17 last year, a career best. He's a quality player.
You're right, Eddie, it's the G-force so far. Good offload from Sculthorpe there, and Justin Morgan will not be happy with the way that their defensive line went on the angle. That was very poor indeed. I'm not taking anything away from the quality of Gidley to scamper over for the try, the 3rd so far in this game. But Justin Morgan knows that he's going to have a few problems. It's one thing slowing the man with the football down, trying to turtle him. There's been so many Hull KR players being dragged into the middle that all St Helens are doing out now is passing the ball out wide, and they're getting the overlap.
Well, Long, he kicked one from out here just before, and he has kicked another. 3 from 3 for Long, 18-0 to Saints.
And fully deserved. It is now a big problem for the Rovers. A few of the players' heads have gone down slightly.
Marvellous to see, Steve, although that Paul Sculthorpe has been the provider for Gidley twice in the 3 tries up to now, and I'm sure he'll be feeling very, very pleased with his contribution for these first 25 minutes.
Yeah, don't hex him, John. He's getting to dangerous territory now, Paul Sculthorpe. 26 minutes in the past, he has departed. There's David Mills on the field, and Father Jim is in the front row of the director's box watching him. Great to see Gentleman Jim at a rugby league game. Again, former Witness chairman, of course. Jim Mills, Witness player, great star, great name of the past. And there's Mills the younger.
Certainly a gentleman, that is for sure, now that he's retired.
Wellens, lovely little chip over the top.
He's got taken out.
He moved in front of him. It's not allowed. Wellens gets the penalty. Bang in front of the sticks.
Got squeezed out there. Little doubt about it. They'll go for the tap. They're off to the throw.
Go with it. There's no mark.
I think Justin Morgan's got an easy half-time team talk, hasn't he? It's about the discipline aspect.
Yep.
Go.
And their defence.
Long again. Oh, interceptions. And it's been picked up there by Webster. And Price gets to him and hauls him down on the halfway line.
Wonderful work by Webster.
Here's Peter Fox.
He put himself, and Webster's injured. Webster is injured as well. This is bad news for the Rovers. Good job for Saints that Leon Price got back in time.
Fisher. Dobson. Cook. Clint Newton. Cook again. Dobson. Vella. The attack has just stuttered a bit after the break from Jake Webster. 20 metres away, Fisher, Dobson to Stanley Jean. He hit that at pace. And Gidley says that he lost the ball. Referee and touch judge disagree. Dobson again, kick over to the corner.
Good one.
Ball is palmed back to Cook. It goes out wide to Fox. Melly misses him. The next two don't. Fantastic defence now from St Helens.
Certainly was. Beautiful pass though. Webster got the intercept and Price got back there in time. Wonderful defence.
Proving today in the opening 28 minutes why they are as difficult to beat at home as ever. Just 2 defeats in the last 25 home League and Cup matches. They've got massive possession in the opposition half here tonight, as you've just seen. Only Leeds in March this year and last July have been the team that has lowered their colours on home soil. Price, what a wonderful step inside, and Long could not take the pass in.
They were running riot with the Saints and they knew it. Leon Price, he loves the situation like this. When they get a couple of tries under their belt, it's usually when Leon Price puts all the skills in, and Sean Long just couldn't grab it in. Had a little sly look to the standoff, Mr. Price. Could have got that.
Stanley Jean, good offload. Oh, off Dobson's
Offside.
shoulder into the arms of Fitzhenry, and offside. He was stood in front. Well, he was running in front of him after making the pass.
Well, Saints thought that it was just going to be a knock-on. They went together to form the scrum.
I think that's accidental offside, and that would be a scrum. It's a bit harsh giving that.
It's not really, John, because the player caught it, and he deliberately played at the ball.
It's difficult instinctively, though, not to catch a ball. It's flying at you. It's a player's instinct.
Yes, we can have sympathy, but we can't, I'm afraid, change the rules.
Some do.
Roby to Long. Price again. Flicks the pass. Tallow coming in on the angle.
They were looking for the drive to the sticks, then they'll do the link.
Well, they're not so far away from the goal line here with Clough. And Roby to Long. Showed it to Farsivalou. Gives it to Scofield. Gidley. Dummy half to Long. Long then to Price. Short ball from Price.
Well spotted by Paul Cook there. Good ball and all tackling, had to be.
Paul Clough with nowhere to go. Murray Farsivalou. Farsivalou with the legs pumping. He's got there. Incredibly. Unbelievable from Murray Farsivalou. I couldn't tell how many he had in his back, but he just kept the legs going. Legs just kept coming up and down. Pump, pump, pump. And over the line for the latest try. Murray Farsivalou. Great Britain international twice last year, a try at Hull Kingston Rovers last week, and a try here tonight.
Tremendous effort. They wait for the power play. Some of them were hanging back, including Stanley Jean, and by the time he got any balance, the big fella was through. Mills was the only one that had moved up. You can see Jean came late, but he was off balance. Look at the power in the legs. Boy, that is sheer strength. Spin over. Try time. Good position by Phil Bentham. New hairstyle. Doesn't matter. Still scores.
It's a great luxury for Daniel Anderson. They say that they want players on the bench who can make a difference, make an impact when they enter the field. He scored a try with his first touch of the ball last week when he entered the pitch. He's just done exactly the same again. There isn't a better way of making your entrance.
And Long, that's meat and drink to Sean Long. 24 points to 0. Rovers in a spot of bother. Daniel Anderson, well, I don't know whether it's the glittering stars on the field that he needs the shades for. But Justin Morgan has got a couple of problems, his brother-in-law. Hanging kick-off, Leon Price said, that's mine.
To be fair, the scintillating pace that Saints have been playing so far in the first 30-odd minutes has been absolutely classic. Good basic, hard work from the forwards, get them in a good position. This is another thing that Saints are very, very keen on, is their ability to get to the halfway line at least when it comes to the final kick.
They seem to do it on, well, with monotonous regularity. There they are now on tackle number 4, and that is the halfway line. Roby waits. Price. Farsavalou, it bumped out of him, and it was knocked forward.
Yes, it was a forward. Well spotted there. Farsavalou just could not take it in. They were a little bit too relaxed in regards to keeping the ball alive on that occasion. At 24-0. You know, it's as though, John, I just get the impression that St. Helens, their coach Daniel Anderson, it's like playing 2 games. It's as though the halfway line is a try line.
Yeah, I think obviously they concentrate on the goal forward from their own half, but it's very impressive because they've got so many people around the ball carrier as well as support, and it obviously, as a defensive line, it's difficult to put numbers in the tackle when there's people pushing around, because you never know if the ball will be tipped on or dropped inside or whatever. And it's a real strength St. Helens have.
Jason Netherton's on there. He played the ball to Fisher. He found Dobson. Dobson to Cook. Oh, this is promising. Chester, wide they go. They find Fitzhenry, but wonderful tackle from Tallow. Chester to Clint Newton. Gets the ball away. Palmed on then to Michael Dobson. Dobson back to Stanley Jean. Jean has got Long in front of him. Oh, the strength of Stanley Jean. Last tackle.
Wonderful break. Kick into the corner, surely. Dobson screaming for it.
It's with Paul Cook, and they go high to the corner. Bounces off the head of Melly and is gobbled up by Paul Wellens.
He didn't know much about that, Francis Melly, and it just bounced the right way. But they don't mess around, do they? Okay, it came off his head. I'll take the first run-up.
Don't forget tonight the Super League Extra Time following this programme via the red button on your Sky handsets.
He's got to call the captain now, surely.
He is doing. But he's talking to Jason Netherton. I'm not sure he's the captain. Is Michael Bella still out there? No, he's not, is he? It's actually Clint Newton he was talking to anyway. Maybe he is the captain. Now that Michael Bella is off the field. Good to see Lee Crooks, of course, but not with a face like that. He's got a face like thunder, hasn't he, Lee?
Second, Chris, come here.
Well, he knows that some of their defensive patterns have just fallen apart.
Yeah, he's at Hull Kingston Rovers, needless to say, on the coaching staff there with Justin Morgan. Not going according to plan tonight, not yet. Good hands from St. Helens and good strength. Look at that. Here's Clough. Manages to repel 3. Good hold of it.
It's okay.
Roby.
5, 2 feet.
Will they go the power play again, or will they opt for the kick?
Going for the power play with Hargreaves. Kick over the top. Oh, the ball is dropped. The referee gives the knock on against Hull Kingston Rovers. There is more pressure coming in here. Head and feet to St. Helens.
Did he tackle him in the air?
It was pretty close to it.
Scrum, lads.
Ooh, 50-50.
Actually, that's another offside, isn't it?
It's a penalty. It's a whole KR, actually.
It is.
We have the benefit of 2 or 3 action replays, super slow motion as well, don't we?
Could have been a penalty the other way as well. Man standing in front of the ball when he picked it up.
I don't think Saints will worry to say that the Hull Kingston Rovers forwards are in the pack there.
Long, Price, Wellens still Paul Wellens. Just short of the line on the first tackle. Will Roby go on his own? No, he'll give it to Price. Price to Clough. Still Clough, and in the end they get him down.
Sean, stay back.
Roby waits again, clapping his hands. Pass to Long.
Great
Good
tackle by
defense.
Cook.
Good
Unbelievable. He read that so well, did Paul Cook.
Stay back.
Now it's Long. It's with Price and Scothall. It's Gidley. It's Gidley. It's McGidley. in between Maori Fasivalu. Well, Matt Gidley, what more can we say about him? 17 caps for Australia, 11 times for New South Wales, 2 breaks tonight and 2 tries tonight.
So basic, but so effective. Such hard work, and then you get it out wide. You attack the left-hand side of this Hulkingston Rovers outfit, and you find yourself well in charge. They just held off. They knew. They thought he was going to pass to Gardner. They did the one before. And Gidley slides over. Glum faces on the travelling supporters. They know they are watching a masterclass at the moment. Very basic, but boy, so effective.
Well, Long has had some difficult conversions out on this right-hand side because of the positioning of the tries by Gidley and Gardner. Can he maintain his 100% record here? Oh, yes, he can. 30-0. It's a one-horse race at the moment. And there's no complaints from that particular part of the terrace.
And there you see the problem. Poor old John Steele is having to be the sandwich. The first 2 tries that Gardner scored, John Steele tried to go in. When Gidley scored, John Steele did the right thing and stand in front of Gardner. They're not sweeping in. The sliding defence is very slow.
They've also conceded 10 penalties, Hull Kingston Rovers. They've taken John Steele off. And St Helens, by the way, have only conceded 3 penalties. And after 10 minutes, Hull are ahead at Headingley, 6-0.
Eddie, coaches are paid to spot problems and rectify them before they become an emergency. I guess at 30 points to 0, maybe we've gone past that stage. But Justin Morgan has the option, perhaps, of swapping Dobson with Cook. I think Cook has maybe got a better chance of containing Matthew Gidley than young Michael Dobson has done in the first half.
First move. Wait.
The biggest problem, Phil, is that they just have had no possession whatsoever. Because every time that Saints have virtually got hold of the football, they've crossed over for the try.
2. Clear him. Wait.
And there it shows you it's one-way traffic at the moment, as the scoreboard tells you.
Great take by Wellens. I think he was in the field of play as he fell over the line. It doesn't matter because the half-time siren has gone. And the perfect 40 minutes for St Helens and their supporters. And 40 minutes that Paul Sculthorpe has lasted. But there's the start of the show. He created 2 for Gardner. He scored 2 for himself. And Fasivalu scored the one that got away from the G-force down the right-hand side. 30 points to 0. St Helens are ahead. 6 points adrift of Leeds at the top of the table before play started tonight.